Here we are at the old Mission Cataldo, here between Spokane and Kellogg, Idaho. Hasn't been open in quite a while. I've been stopping here since the early 70s, before all this park around it was developed, but it's a beautiful old mission. So let's go inside. This is quite an old mission, built in the 1800s. Has that old time smell of the wood. But this is really something to see if you like Western history of the 1800s. This is a definite place to come and visit. There's a $5 park entry fee, but the grounds are huge with lots of history. Here's some information about the Cataldo Mission, Idaho's oldest building. And the little, I forget what they call them. Oh, confessionals, that's it. Where you can expunge your sins for another week. And the old carved organ. Must have been something. And there's another one over here. These things are, I'm guessing, from the 1800s, brought here by various modes of transportation. So this is quite the place. I've always enjoyed coming here on my way back and forth. So let's go outside and check out the grounds. And next to the Mission Church, we have the Parish, which we'll go in and tour next. We're now in the Parish House next to the Mission. And what you hear are recorded stories in each room to enhance the experience. Here's the parlor. It's always fascinating to see how people lived back then. I guess what we call a family room would be the parlor now. But the parlor was where they usually greeted guests, as far as I remember. This was living well in the 1800s. So let's continue back here. And we have the kitchen. Ah yes, good old home cooking. No microwave dried out food, freeze dried, any of that. So, not a lot of extras, just what you needed to be happy, to have a good life. It takes very little. People don't know that anymore. It's all about stuff. Now what's this? Oh, another. This is the house chapel.
Because it was a hard test on the frontier, living among people as they had to. For them to remain a celibate men who were given to dedication to God and to the job that they had to do. They also had to be men that were discreet. The James, on the other hand, had a certain kind of a broad-mindedness that was warm, comfortable, and very easy for others to come in with. And when they went across the trail with the other people, the James always took their share of night watch. They always had performed weddings and funerals for the other people. They did anything and everything.
Here's some of the surrounding area down below the Mission and Parrish home. Probably was at one time a lot of animal life down there. I can imagine possibly beaver, otter, deer, possibly moose. Must have been a very interesting life in the 1800s. Very exciting. You'll find throughout the park area they have these very informative plaques that explain what went on here in the 1800s. And also many of the areas have interactive displays where you push a button and can hear Native American elders talking about their stories of life here in this area back in the early 1800s. Here's a plaque I found interesting. It says that some famous people from our history have passed through this way and stayed overnight. Isaac Stevens, governor of Washington Territories, Captain John Mullen, who built the Mullen Trail, and General William Sherman of the Civil War fame have been here and experienced life in these hills in the 1800s. As you can see, the grounds here, the park, is quite large. That newer building down there, a couple of years old, is the brand new visitor center, which explains even more about the Native Americans and the travel through these hills in the 1800s and during the gold rush in this area. There's the old Mission bell, and we swivel around and there's the Mission. So the grounds here are very large. They really haven't changed since the early 70s when I first came here, except the park has been developed more, and the addition of the huge visitor center is a new addition. But if you're traveling between Spokane and Kellogg, Idaho, or Missoula, Montana, this is a must-see if you're interested in the Western history of our area in the 1800s. Let's go see what this is. Well, looks like I got here when the sun's in the wrong position. Anyway, this is the remains of an old horse-powered grist mill. It sure beat doing it by hand. You can still see the old grist stone. I think that's what they'd call it. That they'd have a bar in there, put the grain in, and get that horse to just go in circles all day and grind a fine powder for their breads and whatever else they made from it. Oh, I see a sign up here. It says grist mill is half scale. So I guess actually it was much larger, otherwise it wouldn't get much done, would it? So, well, I think I better head back to the dogs and check on them. We've got a ways to go before we get to our night's stay. So, let's hit the trail. So, one more look back at the Mission Cataldo and the Parish House and one of the parking areas here. And I think our admission should let us into the visitor center if it's open. So we'll go down there and see if it is. And then we'll be on our way. Let's check in on the girls. Hey guys, stay. How's it going, everybody? No, Sarah, stay. Yeah, you guys are already out walking around earlier as soon as we got here. So let's get back in, okay? Everybody back in. Come on. Come on. We're gonna go drive down here a little farther and then we'll take off and get back on the road, okay? All right? Okay. Well, there's the lower parking lot entrance to the Cataldo Mission Park. And this is the brand new, well, to me, since I've been coming here since the 70s, brand new visitor center. And it says that the park entrance is $5 and exhibit is $5. And that seems like the $5 to get in here ought to pay for this too. So I'm gonna go check. Well, the car fee, $5, gets you in the door here, but to see the little museum they got, that's $5 extra. So since I've seen many museums, pretty much they repeat similar things, similar books in the gift shop and mugs and everything, only with different, symbols on them. I decided, nah, $5 to see probably a lot of what I've already seen over the past decades. I don't need to. So I'm gonna go back up to the mission and use my camera to take some photos, because once again, when I get involved with these videos, I forget to take photos too. So back up we go just for some photos. Then the girls and I are on the road again to tonight's location. See you then.